I like the song, but nah, I'm not feeling it. Bad intro. Welcome to KO Bets. My name is Bill. On tonight's show, we're going to preview UFC Fight Night Font vs. Aldo, taking place at the UFC Apex Arena tomorrow evening. There's a lot of fights on this card, I think. 14 total. So it should be a fun one. There's a lot of good fights. There's a lot of tough fights to choose between. A lot of pick'ems, if I'm being honest. And I don't know. I found myself a little more confident in maybe predicting the outcome of the fight as opposed to like choosing the money line, who's going to win. And that's never a good sign, right? It's never a good sign. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You'll get notified every time I go live. You know the drill. We'll go through the prelims and the main event here. I'll give my money line picks. I'll kind of talk through the fights, give my thoughts on the events, and then we'll maybe dive into some possible, prop type bets that we could wager on those fights. So let's get into it. All right, the first fight of the night, we've got Smolka taking on Vince Morales. Morales is the underdog right now at plus 135. Smolka's carrying favorite odds at minus 155. Smolka's 3-2 in the UFC. He does have nice finish prowess. If you look at his, win by percentage breakdown, 15, I think it's 8 KOs, 7 submissions. Majority of his fights, that's 15 out of 17 wins, have come inside the distance. Just a lot of finishes. And I think in one of his recent losses too, it was a finish as well. So on the opposite side, we've got Vince Morales. He's 2-3 in the UFC. Arguably has fought against a little bit tougher competition. Song Yadong, Chris Gutierrez, 2 examples. Really good striker. Decent output. He could get, I think that part of that's probably the Song Yadong fight, and Chris Gutierrez does throw a lot of volume, but I think he'll be the better striker in this fight. I think he's got to be worried about Smolka is potentially getting submitted. Just keep it standing. If it does go to the mat, be like do what Sean Brady did last week or 2 weeks ago against Chiesa, and just control it. Don't put yourself in danger. You'll be fine. So I'm gonna go with Vince Morales on this money line. We're gonna go with the underdog. Like I said, I did write down that I like the Smolka submission, but I think I'd favor Vince Morales to win a decision or via KO a little bit more. In the next bout here, we've got Claudio Puelles against Chris Rudsmacher. I probably screwed up Claudio's last name. Claudio is actually the favorite in this fight. He's 3-1 in the UFC. He does gas out a little bit, but he is a dangerous submission artist, dangerous grappler. Just doesn't have great stand-up defense, but, you know, Chris's isn't good either. It just looks respectable next to his output there. So he's not, you know, he's not the most savvy in the striking game. Um, like I said, he has gassed out a little bit in his losses, so definitely has an interesting opponent in Chris Grutzmacher, who just kind of seems to push forward through everything. He's competitive, I guess, and you know he's just not real impressive. You know, until like that third round comes around, and you know his opponent's super tired. I'm thinking about like Rafa Garcia. Um, you know, he does have that gas tank. I just we've seen him get submitted fairly recently. Maybe against Shelley, I think. Otherwise, like Hernandez knocked him out. Um, yeah, just kind of a weird fighter. So I wonder how he's gonna do with almost, you know, kind of like a specialist, someone who's gonna go for the. I expect to see more than one submission from Claudio Puelles, but I'm gonna roll with Grutzmacher, just because I've seen this dude. You know, if you're not hurting him and he's able to push forward, he's going to continue to point strike and he's going to continue to score against you. I think he's a decent wrestler too. I think Claudio is probably gonna get gassed out in this fight if he isn't able to finish it early on. I mean, how early on? I don't know. Round one, you know, if he doesn't do that, then I kind of like Grutzmacher. Um, I kind of like this fight to go the distance as well. The prop bet for that is minus 165 or decision for either fighter, same odds. Um, I yeah, I'm gonna roll with the underdog again. That intro music was "Hark the Herald Angels Sing." Um, it was a free piece of music provided by YouTube. Um, I didn't have to, you know, get a copyright infringement or anything like that. I did get a copyright infringement. Oh, I posted a funny video clip of Kevin Lee punching Michael Chiesa, and it was like Michael Chiesa was like, "Don't talk about my mom," and then Kevin Lee punches him in the face, and it's all during a press conference. And I thought it was a funny altercation Chiesa was fighting last week, so I showed it, and it wasn't even the UFC who like marked it. Some weird Brazilian company. It might have been the UFC or something affiliated with it, but it was Brazilian. All right. This next fight, we've got an interesting one. We've got Alonzo Minifield taking on William Knight. I mean, this one to me has knockouts written all over it. Both guys extremely high KO rates. You can see this. We did see a little bit more than just power from Minifield in his last fight. He has some nice wins. He's 4-2 in the UFC. William Knight, he's 1-1 in the UFC. I mean, when you look at the round one KOs alone for these guys, so we've got 10 wins for William Knight. He's got 7 round one KO wins. If you look at Alonzo, he's got 11 wins. He's got 6 round one KOs. So these guys get paid by the minute. Not by the round. They get paid by the minute. But William Knight, what he presents is like he's a better counter striker, I would say. He does throw some decent kicks. I'm gonna give Alonzo the advantage as far as like output. So if it does trend towards a decision, which I don't think it will, I do like Alonzo Minifield. I did see an interesting, you know, prop bet on DraftKings, you can do money line wagers based on like contingent on the outcome. So there's decision only money lines. So you could like I don't see how William Knight could possibly win a decision. If it goes to that, Alonzo is minus 200. I see him comfortably winning in that scenario. If it doesn't go to that, you get your bet back, and that's kind of interesting. Um, but if you just want to bet on a KO in this fight, it's minus 150. Alonzo Minifield is my pick. I mean, just because of the output, I think it's a little bit better. Um, but that could be a bad thing against a counter striker like William Knight. So, I mean, Manningfield's minus 150, the KO for either fighter's minus 150. William Knight's plus 130. If you like Knight, you can chase the better odds, but I'll probably just. That's a outcome I kind of like is a KO either fighter. I wouldn't be putting too much juice on either fighter. Honestly, in this entire card, maybe Alex Moreno. I mean, Brendan Allen should win, but we'll get to him. We'll get to him. In the next bout, we've got Cheyenne Lismas against Mallory Martin. Cheyenne, she's like called Cheyenne Buys on DraftKings for some reason. She's a pretty aggressive fighter, 1-1 in the UFC. You can see decent output, very aggressive, game to fight. It seems like Mallory Martin, she is 1-2 in the UFC. I would maybe give her a slight grappling advantage, but I don't know if this fight's ever gonna, get to that situation. So for that reason, I favor Cheyenne. She is the favorite at minus 190. Mallory Martin is the underdog at plus 160. I wrote down here Cheyenne decision plus 100, but she had a recent victory via KO if we check her fight history, and it was a head kick KO. It was a nice one too. It might have been a couple of fight. No, it was last fight. Or no, yeah, it was last fight. Okay. Yeah, it was a nice head kick KO. So I would just be, there's always the possibility of a finish, and minus 190 isn't bad odds. I do perceive her as the better fighter, and I think she wins this fight a majority of the time. So I like Cheyenne. In the next bout, we've got Jake Matthews taking on Jeremiah Wells. Jake Matthews is long tenured. He's minus 180 odds as the favorite. His last loss, he was submitted by Sean Brady, who we obviously saw put in a good performance against Michael Chiesa a couple weeks ago. So, besides that loss, he's kind of been rolling. Really, really good fighter, likes to wrestle. I would say he's probably the more experienced fighter heading into this. Jeremiah Wells, he's 1-0 in the UFC. He does carry a lot of power. He did come out firing in his debut. Could he potentially gas out if he's not able to KO Jake Matthews? Maybe. That's another thing. This is for a guy 1-0 in the UFC, Jake Matthews is a pretty tough opponent. I definitely think Jeremiah Wells has the capacity to knock out Jake Matthews, and I think Jake has the possibility to finish Jeremiah too, whether that's a submission, ground and pound, something like that. Um, I think that's very possible as well. Uh, Vegas agrees, the odds makers, they don't think the fight's going to go the distance. That's minus 115 odds. I'm going to go with Jake Matthews on the money line. Um, it's just, and I don't even love like the idea of the fight not going the distance. It just makes sense in my head. I'm like, Jake should be a really good wrestler. Jeremiah, he's got great power. They both are aggressive in their own way, and yeah, I don't think it'll go the full 15 minutes, but it could. Um, but big step up in terms of competition for Jeremiah Wells for sure. Brian Barberena is taking on Darian Weeks. Barberena, been around for a while. He's 6-6 in the UFC. Fought against a lot of people: Colby, Leon, Luque, Brown. So a lot of people. Darian Weeks, he's making his debut. Um, he's got 4 wins. It doesn't say it here. He's got 5. He's 5-0 in his professional career. He's got 4 KO wins, 1 decision win. Yeah, he's coming in against Brian Barberena, who also carries very good KO prowess with a finish rate KO rate of 67%. I think Brian Barberena does kind of gas out as the rounds go later. I kind of like a KO in this. A KO bet for either fighter is plus 100. For the will the fight go the distance? No. That's minus 1 to 75 if you want to include submissions in there. I mean, Brian Barberena does have some grappling ability. We don't see it too often. Darian Weeks, uh, he could maybe grapple. I'm not sure if he's gonna get this fight to the mat or want it to be there. So I think it's gonna be fought primarily on the feet. I think a KO is likely. All right, we've got Manel Cape taking on Zhalgas Zhumagulov. Manel Cape, he is the big favorite in this at minus 305. Zhalgas is plus 240. Both fighters are 1-2 in the UFC. Zhalgas had a nice submission win versus Jerome Rivera, stand-up guillotine. Manel Cape, really nice flying knee. I don't know if I would call it flying knee. Really a nice knee against Odie Osborne. This one's tough. I mean, I think what makes me feel a little more comfortable about Manel Cape's output is seeing it's relatively close to what Zhalgas has done in the UFC. I think Manel Cape is the he throws with intent to hurt his opponent. I think Zhalgas is, gosh, he was, I want to say he was pretty heavy favorite in his debut and he just lost it. I question if he can, I don't know if Manel Cape warrants the minus 305 odds, but I question if Zhalgas can wrestle during this fight. If he could get 2 takedowns and steal 2 rounds, he could obviously win a decision. A decision for Zhalgas is plus 350. The Cape KO is plus 225. Manel Cape is 1-4 in decisions. That kind of tells you all you need to know about, his ability to win a close fight that's a decision. It's a tough fight to pick. I think Manel Cape should win. That's going to be my pick. But if it goes to a decision, or if Manel Cape is starting to look tired after the first round already, like, go ahead and live bet on Zalgas. Be careful if Manel Cape's not tired. He does conserve his volume. He doesn't throw huge output, so just be careful. Yeah, if maybe I would put like Manel Cape on some sort of like 2-fight, 3-fight round robin thing, but I don't know. It's a tough one, and because like Zalgas would be kind of cool on there too if it does go to a decision. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably no, for sure. I think my money line pick is Cape. It is Cape. I just don't think it warrants the minus 305 odds. Dusko Todorovic taking on Maki Pitolo. Coconut bombs against Thunder. Maki is the underdog at plus 145. Dusko is minus 165. Maki's 1-4 in the UFC. He's coming off 3 straight losses. 2 of those came via the submission. I'd just like to point out Maki's takedown defense isn't terrific. Dusko, on the other hand, he's 1-2 in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He has really bad... Oh, they don't show it here. Why don't they show his numbers? He's 1-2 in the UFC. He's got really bad striking defense. I don't think it's technique either. Just keeps his hands low. So this one's a tough one. It's kind of a pick-em. Like, if Dusko could maybe get this fight to the ground, I think would be advantageous for him. Kind of control top position, not get too tired, though, and miss those takedowns if he does go for that. Like, that would be good. If the fights kept standing up, I kind of think it favors Maki. To be honest, I do think it should be minus 110, minus 110. Pick 'em. I just favor, I think, Dusko's power a little bit more, especially earlier in the fight than Maki, but it's a close fight. It's a good fight. I guess you could always, it's always interesting to look at height discrepancies, reach discrepancies, see who the longer fighter is and who might be able to control distance. And I don't think so. I just mentioned in Maki's 3 straight losses, he's had 2 submissions. I don't think he's shows a lot of prowess on I don't know if he's that good on the ground. So I think if the fight goes to the mat, it's going to favor Dusko. I think the stand-up might even favor Dusko earlier on in the bout. So I'm going to go with Dusko. Oh, I did notice I like to look at winning method odds just to see, odds-wise what, outcome is favored the most. And for this one, Dusko KO was plus 175. That was, the lowest, the biggest favorite out of the prop bets that you could make for method of victory. Does the fight go the distance? No's minus 175. I think that's kind of interesting. I think that's a little bit interesting. But, I don't know. Might be one I just stay away from again. This is one I'm more confident in. Alex Morono against Mickey Gall. Alex Morono, he's the favorite at minus 250. He's got way more experience, as you can see, than Mickey Gall. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He's got decent striking, decent grappling. He's pretty well rounded, in my opinion. Definitely want to keep this one standing, especially early on against Mickey Gall, but it's just important to do that against a guy who's so good at submitting his opponents. Mickey Gall, he can hold his own on his feet. We saw that against Mike Perry. Even Jordan Williams, he looked pretty good on the feet. So I think he can hold his own on the feet. I just don't think he can win on his feet. Similar to what we saw against Mike Perry. I kind of like the Morono decision at plus 100. I do like Morono on the money line. I think Mickey Gall, he's going to be most dangerous in this one in the first round. And if you're interested in placing a bet on him, you could, explore submission odds. You can look at this sub rate here. I'm not sure who his decision win was against, to be honest. Alright, next fight, we've got Brendan Allen taking on Mickey Gall. What the frick? Oh, sorry, I'm reading the my notes and the screen. And I see I've got like 3 more viewers than I usually have in here, and I got a little bit nervous because I usually got a little bit less. Alright, we've got Brendan Allen taking on Chris Curtis. Brendan Allen is the heavy favorite at minus 365. Chris Curtis is the heavy underdog at plus 280. Chris Curtis, he looked fantastic against Phil Hawes. He was getting beat, but then he came back and beat Phil Hawes. It was incredible. And Phil Hawes was like pretty big favorite. I don't know if it's in this notebook, but it's probably in my other notebook, and I think I only have the last fight, but it was pretty incredible to see. Yeah, it's in my other notebook. But Phil Hawes, heavy favorite. Chris Curtis, heavy underdog. Chris Curtis wins the fight. I don't think he's going to do it in this fight against a guy like Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen, he's on a 2-fight win streak. I think he's definitely the better grappler. It'll be interesting to see how Chris Curtis does on the feet. It's a hell of a second match for this dude. I mean, he just made his debut against Hawes. Like, couple of tough matches. But I'm gonna go with Brendan Allen. I like Brendan Allen in this. I think he knows how to win. We'll probably see this fight go to the ground. He'll probably score a takedown when he needs to score a takedown to cover a round. I like Brendan Allen a lot in this. I do think, even though Curtis looked impressive in his last bout, I do think Brendan Allen warrants the heavy favorite odds. Clay Guida, plus 160, taking on Leonardo Santos. You guys know the story about Clay Guida. He's been around for forever. I'm pretty sure he's from Chicago. It says United States. I'm pretty sure he's a Chicago guy. He's plus 160. Leonardo Santos, minus 190. Leonardo's on a 1-fight losing streak. He does have decent power. He's a dangerous submission artist. I think his output is kind of low. He does kind of gas out versus wrestlers. I'm curious if he's going to be able to hit Clay Guida with a good shot in this bout. We haven't seen Clay Guida get KO'd. I think I wrote it down. Okay, so he's only had two KO losses. And I want to say that his last KO loss might have been like 2015. I think I looked it up and it was 2015 and I didn't write it down. But Clay Guida, he pushes a high pace, especially in the later rounds. He does like to wrestle. It'll be an interesting fight. I don't think it's going to be a fun fight for Leonardo Santos. I'm going to go with the underdog again. How many underdogs is that? 2, 3, 4. 4 underdogs. I'm going to go with the underdog again. We're rolling with Clay Guida coming off the loss. I kind of think if the fight goes... I think the fight is going to go the distance. So therefore I like Clay Guida just because of his output, his pace. Leonardo does stand a chance to win a decision, but he's going to be having to stuff the takedowns. He's going to be having to really make... and he does have good takedown defense. He's good at submissions. He just got tired in his last fight. Who was that against? He was looking all right. He got gassed out. And that's never good when you're going against Clay Guida. Next bout, we've got Jimmy Croot taking on Jamahal Hill. Croot is the favorite at -170. Hill is the underdog at +150. Croot is coming off the loss to Anthony Smith, where he hurt his ankle and was like trying to walk on it, and it wasn't good. And then Hill hurt his arm in his last fight. He's also, I believe, coming off a loss. Yeah, it says it right there. He was KO'd. Wait, not KO'd. By Paul Craig. Something happened with Paul Craig. I don't think it was a KO, though. Pretty sure it was an armbar. So the question for this one, Jimmy Croot's a tough opponent for Hill. Hill is a good boxer, good striker, high output, but Croot is tough. I kind of think Jimmy Croot is going to win this one. I'm going to roll with him on the money line simply because of that grappling prowess, and I think he is powerful and dangerous in his own right on the feet. I do not think this fight goes the distance. That's -350 odds. But I'm rolling with Jimmy Croot on the money line. I feel pretty confident about that. Jimmy Croot's really good. He's really good. And Hill is good, but he's, just more of a striker. And you give him a puncher's chance, right? Next fight, we've got Brad Riddell taking on Rafael Fiziev. Crazy fight. 4-0 in the UFC for Brad. Rafael's 4-1. His one loss, though, did come to Magomed, who is just a beast. He got KO'd by a spinning back fist. That might have been Magomed's debut as well. But both of these guys are dangerous strikers. Brad Riddell, City Kickboxing, New Zealand. Rafael, good Muay Thai. I would give a slight edge to Brad Riddell as far as boxing and maybe the potential to win this fight via KO. I see him throwing more of his hands, and searching for the head more than Rafael, but you know, it's a tough one. I'm gonna roll with the underdog, Brad. He's plus 100. Rafael's the favorite at minus 120. I'm gonna roll with Brad Riddell. I like Brad Riddell. I do like Rafael too, but man, this is a good piece of matchmaking. You got two really, really, really good prospects that are meeting each other in the top 15. Yeah, it's a really good fight. I'm gonna roll with Brad Riddell. As far as does the fight go the distance, I mean, Rafael has one KO loss in his career. Brad Riddell has one submission loss in his career. They're good fighters. It could go to a decision. I think it's likely that there's a knockout. I think it's more likely that there's a knockout, but maybe I could be crazy. It could be a decision. I mean, Brad Riddell, he might only have wins via decision in the UFC. You know, he's 4-0, but they might have all been decisions. So, Rafael, on the other hand, you know, yeah, it'll be an interesting. It'll be a sick fight. It'll be an interesting fight, a sick fight. I'm rolling with Brad. Next fight we've got Rob Font taking on Jose Aldo. Rob Font, he's on a 4-fight win streak. Just coming off a unanimous decision versus Garbrandt. Really good boxer, good output. Jose Aldo, you know the resume, 30-7, plus 135 odds. He's the underdog. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Really good leg kicks. Likes to go to the body with the hands. He's just, you know, he's explosive. This is a 25-minute fight, so I do question, you know, we have seen his gas tank run low in a few different fights recently. I do question, you know, I think he's going to look good early in the fight. I like Rob Font to win this, mostly because I like his gas tank a little bit more. I like his output near the end, and then, like, the only question for me is, like, is Jose Aldo gonna survive at that point for a decision? And I just don't know. I'm thinking of, like, Max Holloway versus Jose Aldo, kind of like a fight like that, or, you know, and he does tend to struggle with the boxers a little bit. So if he's not eating up that leg and really affecting Rob Font and where he's standing, and, you know, not doing a good job of controlling the distance of Rob Font's boxing, you know, I just think it's going to be a lot of trouble for Aldo, and for that reason I like Rob Font. He's minus 155. I don't think there's any chance we're going to see a submission in this. That would be pretty freaking crazy, but I don't think we're going to see it. I think Jose needs to get out of there with a KO early, or Rob Font's going to probably find one a little bit later in the bout. And that wraps up the card. So hopefully, you know, maybe it's just a little bit of, you know, I've been away for a week, and I'm just getting back into it, and I just need one good week to install some confidence back into me and my picks. But, you know, I didn't do so hot on that last card as far as my money line picks. I never bet on every single fight, but, you know, hopefully we do a good job of picking these. I think I did a good job of researching the fights. I did take a lot of underdogs, though, more than usual, which makes me nervous. So it might be a rocky couple of weeks here for UFC. We do have a huge event after this weekend, which is just going to be absolutely bananas. Let's pull it up. Isn't next weekend, I'm pretty sure, is the big December card. I'm pretty sure that's when like Poirier and stuff fights. Oh, here we go. Poirier versus Oliveira. Yeah, Saturday, December 11th. So I'll probably, it's the holidays. I got a bunch of stuff going on over the course of the next few weeks. I'll probably try and watch some of the fights on Sunday. I'm gonna do some ice skating tomorrow night. I'll catch the main card, but the prelims I'll try and catch on Sunday. For next weekend, I know I've got got a wedding to attend. I'm very excited to attend, so I'll probably I might do my show like a day early, a night early, my pick show, and that'll be good because it'll give you more time to watch it at your convenience. Otherwise, the only news is I'm on lockdown a little bit right now, so I've got someone sick in the house, and we are taking care of each other, but it's not good. Yeah, I make it sound so terrible, but it's fine. It's just you got stuff you want to do, and you can't do it. So that's all I mean by that. All right, I am going to go ahead and sign off here. Let's pull up some tunes first. I'll do the football show on Sunday. We can do that on Sunday. Wait, let's check my two favorite stocks where they're at. 2865. 171. Nice. So I go down here to the audio library, and I chose Christmas music before, but let's do something different. Let's do this one, a new one.
Looking for royalty-free music?
Not
Discover Epidemic Sound.
Open it.
Get the safest music subscription for content.
Time to open up the club. I hope everyone has a good weekend. Before I sign off, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. If you don't do it. It's no big deal. But do it for me. Don't do it for the algorithm. Everyone says for the algorithm. All the people I watch on YouTube, they're like, it helps the algorithm. No. The algorithms are here to assist humans, not the other way around. You know what I mean? So, help me out. Don't help out the algorithm. Subscribe. Alright, I gotta sign off.